Azalis, which part of the film are we in right now? What's just happened?
We have just been handed a big defeat in court.
Yeah.
Not good.
And so we're out here on Fleet Street, which you can see. We're filming a wonderful day.
Yes, and my colleague has totally
this one
blown our case. I'm very angry with her.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Really?
Let's do a walk just getting this main part of the action, but you guys see the extras getting started where everybody is to get all the action. This right, switch it up. Okay. And then come down. And it's left, your favorite right. Like that? Yeah, exactly. Like that. Okay. All right, here we go.
Roll camera.
Roll.
Rolling.
All right.
Όχι και πολύ, φύγε από εκεί, φύγε.
Action. Start here, let's go right to left. Got it. I think we got it.
We got it.
Right, so we're up, or even just, that's great, like that.
So you want the whole start?
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna have to time it with the cab. This is gonna be tricky.
Your second line to be right about here. Does that make sense? Right before you get to this little cover here.
So still say, Ella μπορούμε να κάνουμε έτσι,
Exactly.
even, okay.
And then at least when you get to about this tree, this will be your second line.
And you don't know the name. These are just warriors.
Okay.
So just go straight under, right? Do that first line. And then go roll on. Not him. Golfi, right? Golfi, right? So here's the check. He's to the side of you or to the front? Right on the camera. Oh, like this. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Right now. Okay. That's the shot.
Got it yet?
That's okay.
It's 42, take 3.
All right. Action.
Millas. Los ka lang matahan better. And then we're watching Cassandra across the street. That's what it's called. And then Cassandra comes and she's here. Right. Okay. So to me that means that Andreas can put his bags down, just to take a minute, and then he can be having just gotten in the cab. Right. And so that way the door's not just hanging open.
Action. Cut. Get in. Get in. Okay? Action. Alright, so tell me if we can change this.
Kidding, I'll get the boy, get the myself.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Let's do a take.
Take.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Action.
So if I'm staying there, I don't need to wait.
It's kind of cool. Cut. Okay, it's gonna work great. I need the sun.
Πιο ψηλά, πιο μέσα.
Oh no.
Right? We got it. We got it.
Swap the sun or punch.
Punch
the leads.
Basil's
Off the
off the Acropolis.
Okay. This is the
So you're starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the list of the
Around.
problem. And then these guys watch you.
Uh-huh.
You sit down, and you give your next line, and then it's would you hurry up?
From there. And go ahead. The explicit use of bribery to obtain the marbles from Greece.
If you say so.
Okay, let's do a quick rehearsal. And action. I have here excerpts from the 1816 Select Committee hearings that I will submit into evidence. On pages 35 and 142, respectively, Lord Elgin and Reverend Hunt admit they did not have permission to remove the marbles.
If you say so.
They confess that through the explicit use of bribery, they obtained the marbles from Greece. But that still leaves us with a little problem.
Okay, cut there. Continue.
Yeah. This is the English translation of Reverend Philip Hunt's letter that he submitted as solitary evidence for the acquisition of ownership of the marbles of the Parthenon. If you could please direct your attention to the first line of the second paragraph. All Hunt had was an Italian first draft that he kept in his personal possession.
Would you hurry up and come to the point?
This is the English translation of Reverend Hunt's letter.
Mr. Aristus, you need to back down from my client.
Action. Does the British Museum have any intention to ever return the Parthenon marbles to Greece with lawful title?
No. The only way the marbles will be loaned to Greece is if the Acropolis Museum in Athens agrees that the marbles are, and will always be, the property of the British Museum.
Cut.
Great, beautiful.
Then Allah specifically instructed the Sultan to give the French ambassador taximeter.
Right. And on that line, Paul, if you can kind of bluster a little bit, because it's a little bit ridiculous what he says, that it's this whole elaborate process, and then he's getting taximeter. Okay. All right. Right. Okay. And just
This is what I want to see.
Camera. Speed.
Yep, which will be 2, take 2.
This firman is dated to 1792 and is addressed to the French ambassador. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. And it goes on to say, I, the righteous, the destined, am instructed by sacred law and commitment to the power I serve to rain goodness upon my empire.
You getting a...
good. That's
like
good.
it?
I love it. Okay.
I'm asking you about this second page because it's very well
Alen said, let's go with the Furman argument.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of contention.
Yeah, exactly. This when you see that big case come up, you're watching it, and you're like your body language. You lean back. Like, what is this big thing that's getting put on the table? Two is perfect. The way you've lit it. That's great. I'll get the metapiece shot. I'll be done in 10-15 minutes.
Get that metapiece shot down. Yeah. We'll get this thing to Paul, then we go back in the room. And
Yeah.
Michael's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Michael, you should call him right.
Individual blocks of solid money, the metapiece. Metapiece represent the struggle between human spirit and animal nature.
Why am I looking at them particularly?
Oh, yeah, you're looking at them because you just noticed in there that there's some tension between the two.
Right.
And you're studying that tension, and you're looking like, okay, what do I need to do to win this and maybe break them apart a little bit.
Yeah.
So that
Means that if the pediment's here, that means the metapiece is sitting under the table, right? So you see where I'm going with this.
At a total length of 160 meters. Its meaning is somewhat of a mystery.
Yeah, lifting like that.
Yeah.
That would look awesome.
And so the buildings arose.
all action.
Can you walk us through the taking of each section of the sculptural program by Lord Elgin's men in 1801?
Of course. This is why I'm here.
Look within the space a little bit more. And it's here.
Or it could be the representation of the first Panathenian procession.
You can lean back in your chair and examine the document and ask questions.
In other words, nobody cuts until Cordy says cut.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I want a break right after remove.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
We'll do a break there. We're on remove. That's great.
The letter makes a request for permission to contemplate, mold, and measure the sculptures. Remove.
And that the British Museum is under no authority whatsoever to maintain possession of the antiquities that belong to Greece.
28.5, take one.
Action. It is therefore abundantly clear that Parliament's Act of 1816 is not valid, that it is derived from an illegitimate authorization from a foreign occupier,
claimant to that false right of possession of the property of the people of Athena, and that the British Museum is under no authority whatsoever
to maintain possession of the antiquities belonging to Greece and her Hellenic peoples.
Cut. Cut doesn't get better than that.
That was really good. That was great. Okay, let's move on.
This is unacceptable.
You have before you definitive proof.
So on definitive, let's speak over him. Okay? You get that?
Yeah.
Okay, one more time.
This court must take action now.
Principle of Chevron.
You insufferable imperialists. Sir, you will address the members of this court in a manner which reflects the sacred charge which he defends.
I'm a bit of a madman. I would like to hear the whole piece.
Yeah, I think we can go through it now.
Exactly. Let's do that. Action.
Sir, you will address the members of this court
In a manner which reflects the sacred charge which it defends.
Sacred charge.
Mr. Orestes, if you do not behave yourself instantly, you may be held in contempt.
Mr. Orestes, and then on the next one.
Yeah, okay.
Should we just take this first part?
Yourself this instant.
That's
Okay,
good.
on that line, you're walking towards the bench. Right?
can't believe this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's
That'd
what
be
I was
the way to do
thinking.
it. Yeah, okay, awesome. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's try that.
Sir, you must address the members of this court with the respect that they demand. All words to that effect.
Remember, Paul, you're all the British Museum has. You know? Just you.
The defense would therefore like to request a motion for the immediate dismissal of the charges.
Perfect. You know what I like? Awesome. I liked when the concessions were directed at the judge. I did like that.
Well, I got a contrary note.
Well, yeah, it happens. It happens.
But
Let's
here's the thing,
discuss
that's
it.
fine. So the concessions are fine. Like we can do that. I do want to get some direct.
Yeah, so that's fine when he says thanks to the diligent work of our accusers.
Right, and
right?
when you're
and
referring
before
to
that he
Lord
did it
Elgin.
as well.
So
It works better. when
That's
it's-
totally fine.
yeah.
So the concessions, Paul, maybe we can keep on the judge. But then when you refer to Lord Elgin, right? Because he just gave a whole lecture on Elgin. That should also be a direct.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But the concessions, let's
All
name
right,
the
so we'll do
concessions. with the
concessions
judge.
here, and
Yeah.
then on Elgin here, and then diligent work here.
What's so damned important?
Good evening.
Oh, don't say it's the Egyptians now.
What? Our dogged opponents are refusing to yield. New Greek governments have been political politicians are refusing to sign any austerity measures until the appeal for the marbles has been heard in ice and clay. And they're all political.
Exactly. Yeah. So right around here. Let's just about right.
The idea is that you think
think the idea is absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I see what you mean. It's okay.
Okay,
It's
you
okay.
got it? All right, cool. Great.
Take off my glasses so you can see me in my full beauty.
Angle the statue in?
Yeah.
So like there?
Not that much. A little bit back.
Yeah. All right. And then Paul, can I see where you were standing? So, Paul, you can come in a little bit closer.
To the table?
Just right about back half a step. Right there. That's good. Okay? Good. Great. Let's put it down.
Let's put it down, Michael.
Yeah.
Go ahead, put it down.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Action.
So, what's so damn important?
Good evening.
Oh, don't say it's the Egyptians now.
What? No. Our dogged opponents are refusing to yield. A new Greek government has convened, and a splinter group of politicians are refusing to sign any more austerity measures until an appeal about the marbles has been heard at the ICJ.
Oh, beautiful.
Put something like that. Okay.
You don't need me there. You don't need me there.
Yeah, good, good.
Hey, I feel fantastic right now. You guys are doing a great job. Everybody.
We'll go there, we'll say that we just go up for 20 minutes, do an instruction shot, and
Yeah,
show people.
that's great. We're gonna steal the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to go up. I'm going to be free about 6, so I can head over to your hotel after. Oh, great.
Yeah, really. I know. It's funny.
Oh, yeah.